In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on September 3rd, 2022. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Rice versus Southern California. The anticipation is over as the new-look 14th-ranked USC Trojans open their season as massive home favorites in their season opener hosting Rice. Rice finished last season at 4-8 and they have not had a winning season since 2014. The team has been a run-first one for a while, and while the ground attack should be pretty good again, the team will look to air it out more this season. The Lincoln Riley era at USC begins in this game after a stellar run as head coach at Oklahoma. The Trojans took full advantage of the transfer portal, bringing in many elite players on both sides of the ball. Like Rice, USC was only 4-8 this season, but with Riley on the sidelines and a ton of new talent, the Trojans look to get back to the elite in college football. The Owls are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 overall and 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 road games. Rice is 0-4 in their last 4 in September. Meanwhile, the Trojans are 6-14 against the spread in their last 20 in September and 4-11 against the spread in their last 15 non-conference games. USC is 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 at home. It's going to be an interesting year for the Trojans in 2022 as they pivot to join up with the Big Ten in 2024. The big question for the Trojans is how well they'll bounce back from last year's dismal campaign, and by most indications USC should take a huge step forward. Lincoln Riley will need to win immediately to keep the pressure off, and the good news is that he's got the offense to do it. Transfer Jordan Addison will give the team a star option on the outside and keep the passing game flying high. The number here is big, but there's not much to like about Rice here at all. Coming into the season, Athlon Sports has USC rated as the 9th best team in the country and Rice just 123rd overall. The Trojans can pretty much pick their number here and could be up by 35 points at the half. Even if USC lets up, the second and third stringers here will still have something to prove. I like USC to come out of the gate strong here, so the USC Trojans to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Trojans have stars all over the place on offense, and with the transfers, they may have the best WR core in the nation. They also have a solid ground game, and USC will score early and often facing Rice. The Owls will make some plays on the ground and in the air, and while I see them losing badly, they will put up some points. The Trojans will light up the scoreboard. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Illinois State versus Wisconsin. The Wisconsin Badgers and Illinois State Redbirds square off in Week 1 of college football action at Camp Randall Stadium on Saturday. The Illinois State Redbirds are coming off a 4-win season and enter year 14 under Coach Brock Spack. The Wisconsin Badgers won 9 games last year and enter year 8 under Coach Paul Chryst. The Redbirds of Illinois State came off a disappointing 4-7 record last season, and they'll start their 2022 campaign off against a tough foe in Wisconsin. Illinois State is a run-first team led by running back Cole Mueller, who rushed for almost 1,000 yards in 2021. The Redbirds have a noticeably similar style of offense to that of the Badgers. The problem is that Wisconsin should be able to dominate both lines of scrimmage. Despite Wisconsin losing a few pieces on the offensive and defensive lines, the Badgers should have enough to overpower Illinois State. Wisconsin is bigger and more physical than the Redbirds, and that should be the difference. Braylon Allen is getting all the attention at Wisconsin, and for good reason. In fact, I expect Allen to be one of the best running backs in the nation based on his stellar freshman year. Allen rushed for almost 1,300 yards with 12 touchdowns last season and was easily Wisconsin's best player. The offense operates through the run game in Madison, and I don't expect that to change anytime soon. Graham Mertz is the biggest wild card in this game because of his inconsistent play. He was one of the top quarterback recruits in his class, but simply hasn't lived up to the hype. However, Mertz could showcase his skills by throwing the football against an inferior school. This seems to be a David versus Goliath matchup in Madison. Illinois State's lack of talent shouldn't allow them to compete in this game, and there's a reason Wisconsin is one of the biggest favorites on the card. Wisconsin should move the ball on the ground and through the air at will, while the Badger defense shouldn't have a problem with the Redbirds' offense. We've seen Big Ten teams bury lesser opponents, and it starts at the line of scrimmage, where guys just move bodies. We've also seen Wisconsin put the pedal to the metal at times. The Wisconsin Badgers are not only the more talented team, but they have a clear edge in the trenches with their size. Look for Wisconsin to dominate in this one. So Wisconsin to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. It's rare that you see a high spread and low total in any college football matchup. This scenario tells me that Illinois State will have an extremely tough time scoring in this game. Based on this clear talent mismatch, I would be surprised if the Redbirds reach double digits. Illinois State could surprise the Wisconsin secondary early on with Minnesota transfer Zach Ncaa at quarterback. However, the former Golden Gopher QB didn't garner much experience at Minnesota. Ncaa isn't the most skilled quarterback, but he could find some success early against an inexperienced Wisconsin secondary. Realistically, the Redbirds' best chance to score would come against the backups toward the end of the game. Wisconsin should be able to move the ball easily throughout the contest thanks to their dominant running game. Braylon Allen and Shea Malusi should accumulate ton of rushing yards in the backfield, and that should lead to a few scores. I could also see a scenario where head coach Paul Chryst wants Graham Mertz to throw a good amount to build his confidence going into the Big Ten season. Regardless of approach, the Badgers' offense shouldn't have any issues putting up points against Illinois State. It will be difficult to play the under, as Wisconsin alone could go over this low total. If Illinois State is able to get on the board, this one will easily end up going past the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Albany versus Baylor. The Baylor Bears and Albany Great Danes square off Saturday in Week 1 college football action from McLean Stadium. Week 1 is always strange, but you will have a hard time finding a stranger line than this one, a 41.5 spread and a 44.5 game total. This game really comes down to who is Baylor, especially in a game where a preseason top 10 team coming off a conference championship and a Sugar Bowl win is hosting an FCS opponent picked to finish near the bottom of their conference. Dave Aranda enters his third year as head coach, and he has instilled an identity for a nasty defense that forces lots of turnovers, along with an offense built around a mauling offensive line. This Baylor team is still likely to be dominant in the trenches this year, as nearly all of the offensive line returns. The question marks for Baylor come at the skill positions, where Baylor returns 0 wide receivers who had double-digit receptions last season. The running backs are unproven as well, but the biggest change is at quarterback. When Jerry Bohannon went down late in the season, it was freshman Blake Shapen who took the reins, carrying Baylor to a Big 12 championship, winning the championship game MVP in the process. Shapen promptly took the job in the spring, sending Bohannon to the transfer portal. Some in Waco doubt that move, but Shapen has shown the coaches enough to take over. Baylor has not been an explosive offense under Aranda, averaging 32 points per game last season, and the Bears look to be more threatening this year on that side of the ball, thus the change at signal caller. Albany, on the other hand, has lots of questions too. Albany had a 4-man quarterback competition, and the Week 1 starter Reese Pfennbarger hasn't exactly gotten the full endorsement yet either. The strength of this team seems to be at receiver, where they returned their top 2 pass catchers from last season. Still, the Danes are likely to find the passing yards hard to come by against a strong Baylor pass rush and ball-hawking secondary. Albany was picked to finish next to last in the conference coaches poll, and this game is most likely to be way above their heads. Again, the question comes down to whether Baylor runs up the score or not. There is no reason to expect Albany to score much, but Baylor does not typically score in the 40s themselves. This week, however, I think Aranda uses the time to work out as many kinks as possible on offense. The Bears are definitely 40-plus points better than the Danes, and I think they cover, even if we are left sweating the backdoor cover from the Danes in the 4th quarter. So Baylor to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. This number is really low for a game that has such a big spread. If Baylor fails to cover the point spread, it surely will not be because the game itself is close. If somehow it were to be close, a 24-21 game still covers this total. If Albany scores at all, it is hard to imagine Baylor throttling down the offense without a really safe lead. If the under were to hit in this game, it would take some serious threading of the needle to pull it off, something like a 35-6 kind of contest. There is a possibility of some weather in the area, so rain might damper the offensive aggression a bit, if it comes at all. Still, Baylor is going to want to establish their dominant running attack. and weather won't slow that down much. I expect this line to move once more people betting find it and notice the oddity of it, but we can still play it up several more points anyway. As comical as the line is, it is hard to imagine a game script where this number does not go over. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.